So this the third party system is pushing the data to CPI, and from the CPI, I'm doing some modification and send the data to the SAP.
SAP.
This is the scenario.
Yeah.
So before pushing the data, the Shift connector team will provide the data. So actually, what our process is, so they will set the flow, like where to where we need to push the data. So first, what as a CPA consultant, what we need to do is we need to do the connectivity test first. So we need to first connect with the Shift connector system. After that, we need to connect with the SAP system. So for that, I have created the separate flow. So here you can see I have I have done two connectivity tests. One is for shift connector connectivity test.
Okay.
Here what I'm doing is, so actually the Shift connector system is a third party system, third party application. So they will provide the APIs. So first of all, we need to ask some prerequisite from the client. So before working on it, first what we need to do is, first we need to ask the prerequisites, like what are all the details we want before working on the flows. What are all the details we want? First details we want is connectivity details from the both the parties, sender and receiver party. Connectivity details we want. Connectivity details is nothing but what how we can connect with your system, like through APIs, or you have a file server, or you have anything else, like we need to. Yeah. We need to understand what how we can get the connection done from the third party system. So they will set whether we need to connect with the APIs, or we need to connect through file server, like SFTP adapters. So or it is a OData. So we need to first understand how we can connect with the particular parties. After that, once they'll provide the endpoint. Suppose in my case, the Shift connector, we are using the APIs. The
Okay.
Shift connector team provide the APIs. So we'll use that API to get the data from the Shift connector system. So we first will get the API details. After that, we need to understand the authentication mechanism, whether it is a basic authentication, or it is a OAuth based authentication, or it is a token generated based authentication. So second, we need to understand what kind of authentication mechanisms they will use. Then only we can establish the connectivity for that particular system. So in my case, the Shift connector team provide me the prerequisites details, like documentations. So how the system is responding, like how the data we are getting from that system, how we can connect with the system, what are all the mechanisms, authentication mechanisms they are using to connect with the other systems. So these details they will provide. So the prerequisites we need to ask first before we are working on the iFlows. So once once the project starts, we need to ready Excel kind of, or we need to ask these details in the client calls. So once we get these details, we need to study what are all the things the Shift connector have, how the Shift connector is responding to our calls. So these details they will provide earlier. So they, for me, they have given the documents.
Okay.
Mm, so yeah. Actually, yeah, they have provided me some documents. I have read those documents. In the document, I have the request body. Like you asked me, right?
Yeah.
How we know the resource and target data. So they will mention those details as well in the documents. If some clients have documents, some clients don't have documents, so on the time you need to request those details during the client calls only. So before starting the project, you may have multiple client calls. So every calls you need to gather the informations as much as you can. So based on those information, you need to get the clarity on how how we can connect, how we can retrieve the data, how we can post the data. Those details you need to decide based on their given informations. So in my scenario, they will provide the documentation. In the documentation, I have the connectivity details and the API details, and also I have the hmm, request and response data. So I'll, I'll show you the portal.
Like in real time, do we follow like four buckets, like you said now, business, functional?
Yes. So in my case, I am connecting the SAP PM. PM means plant maintenance. That is one of the module of the SAP. So I'm getting that data from the SAP and I'm posting that data to Shift Connector, vice versa. So the Shift Connector have some of the data and I'm posting those data to the SAP.
Okay.
So I have the yes. This is the details the Shift Connector team provides me. This is the document. So in this document, you can see the API overview they have given. They have the put method API. So this is the API endpoint. Using this endpoint, we need to retrieve the data like this. This is the request body they have. I mean,
Okay.
before sending the data, you need to put this data in the body and put, using the put call, you need to send the data to this particular endpoint.
Okay.
So once you
Like
send the
for initial checking purpose.
yes, for real time also, this is the real time data as well.
Okay.
This is the real time data. Like what they are doing is, if you want to create or update any PM plant maintenance details, you need to use this particular API. So like this we have multiple APIs. So the client will set which API we need to use. Everything they will mention. So if they did not mention, so you need to ask them to clarify on these points. So because we don't know, right, we are just a middleware. We don't know which data we need to send, which data we need to get. Those
Yeah.
details we don't know. As a middleware, we are transmitting or converting or transforming the incoming data. We are not working on the data creations or data deletions. Those kind of we are not working. So the data related part, you don't care of data related things. The sender party or receiver party will tell you the data. So we
Okay.
don't care about the data because they will provide. If they forgot to provide, you need to ask them to give the data. Otherwise we are unable to work.
Yeah, I understood. And also in like as I see the integration flow that you shown now before
Yes.
that, it has like Groovy scripting. So we have to write the scripts.
Yes, yeah, actually, yeah, based on the scenario. So here in my scenario, what I'm doing is for this API call. So I'll take one of the API. This is the multiple APIs I have. I'll get one of the API. So what I'm doing is I want to create or update a PM notifications. I need to use this particular API. For
Okay.
this particular API, we need to maintain some request body. without request body, this API call will fail. So that's why they will mention the request body and the API endpoints and what method we need to use, whether it's a post or put or get, which method we need to use. Those details as well they'll provide. So once we run this call, the response also they provide. If the 200 okay, what are all the response we'll get? We'll get the success true,
Okay.
valid message type, message string. This is the success response we get once this call is success. If the call is fail, we'll get the error response. That error response as well they will provide.
Okay.
Here
Like
the code is
like in the
200. Yeah.
upcoming classes, we will know Groovy scripting.
Yes.
Okay. And
So
also, I
yeah.
have one major doubt on like APIs, like
Yes.
REST APIs, SOAP APIs, the old APIs, as I know.
Okay. There the REST API, SOAP API both are web services. Web services is nothing but we are searching anything in the Chrome, you will get the HTTP, right? That is
Okay.
the web service.
Yes.
So the SOAP and REST both are web service only, but the main difference is the SOAP is more secure and the SOAP need request body. Without request body, the SOAP call will not done. But whenever you are working on the REST API call, the request body is not mandatory. And also we don't have any standard structure for REST API request body. But in if you work on the SOAP, you have the standard request body format. So you need to use that format to post the data. So we'll see some scenario in the upcoming class, then you guys can understand easily. So
Yeah, like
now,
it's told like it is an old API, but I did not see any difference there. That's why.
yeah, we'll see some scenarios in the upcoming class.
Okay.
Repressor.
Yes.
Ah, actually, you said that we'll have a uh, body like we had a script, right?
Where?
Hello.
Yes, yes, tell me.
You show me a script structure. So where do we do insert anywhere or else?
Yes, we have the option to insert the script. Uh, Here we have the option to get the GUI script. Once you place, you need to create. You can see the create button here. So
Yes.
if you already have any script, you can directly assign using this option. So I have already have script one, so I can directly assign the script. Otherwise, you need to create the script using this plus symbol. You can create the script. So this is the default body you should maintain. You should maintain this import, and within the process data function you need to write the code. So without process data function, you cannot able to write the groovy script in the CPI, because the process data function is nothing but it will it will return the message to the next step. So if you did not maintain this function, it will not return any data to the next step. I mean, you will not get any data in the next step. So what I'm doing is I'm getting some data from this and previous step, and I'm processing that data, and I'm processed data should send to the next step. So that should happen only if you write within the function. If you did not write within the function, it will not send any data to the next step. So we'll see GUI script. The GUI script, most cases will use only palette options. In some cases, the CPI will not perform some task, some conversions, some kind of externalized parameters. So in those times we'll use the groovy script to customize our flows. So try to use only palette options. If you are unable to work on the palette options, then you go with the groovy script, because the groovy script, I mean, it's more complex when compared to palette options. So prefer palette options first. You can do any operation in the GUI script. You can do the JSON to XML conversion in the GUI script itself. You can do the calls, post call, get call in the GUI script. You can do all operations. You can do all the transformations, all the routing conditions, everything you can do within the GUI script itself. But the best practice is to use palette options rather than GUI scripts. So here in my case, what I'm doing is in the Groovy script, I'm getting the token. Actually, my scenario is different. Like I need to get the authentication code from one call, and I'm using that call to post the data to the APIs. So that's why I'm doing the two calls. What I'm doing is in the Groovy script, in my security material, I'm maintaining the username and password, and I'm retrieving that username and password using the Groovy script and store that into the body. This is also a kind of scenario. So these things they will mention how we can get the authentication mechanisms. If they mention the token based, then you need to generate the token first. So in my scenario, what I'm
Okay, Hari.
sorry guys, I faced some network issue here. So in this security material, I'm maintaining the credentials, and I'm calling that credentials here. So here I'm getting the username and password from that credentials. Credentials dot get username it will get only the username of the particular security material credentials, and I'm getting the password separately, and I'm storing that username and password in the JSON body, and I'm converting that into JSON, and I'm sending that in the body, and I'm setting the body, the JSON body, and in the property maintaining the username and password, and I'm setting some header like content type is JSON because I'm sending the JSON body. So from this Groovy, it will return the request body as a username and password, and the header as a content type application slash JSON. So in this call, I'm getting the token from this call output. So this is the authentication call. From this call, I'm getting the access token. From that access token is in JSON format, and I'm converting that access token into XML, and I'm storing that access token in the authentication header authorization. So using this authorization, the API call will work. So that's why I'm generating the token first, and I'm converting that token into XML, and I'm using that X path. I'm storing the authorization in the header. Using this, the API call is done. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the Swift connector connectivity test here. So once it is success, then I need to check the SAP connectivity.
So, Hari, in the iFlow, what you are showing now, it doesn't have any data or anything, right? It just for the authentication purpose.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
I want to connect
Okay, just the
data
connection.
which I get from the here. I'm maintaining some sample data. I have showed you right
Mm-hmm.
in the API, that API accept only we need to whenever we send the request body. If we
Okay.
forgot to send the request body, it will reject the call. So for my connectivity purpose, I am taking sample data from this document, and I'm storing constant here.
Mhm.
So in this call, what I'm doing is from this call, I'm storing my authentication header authorization. For this
Yeah.
authorization header, I'm making that call. For
Mm.
authentication mechanism, I'm writing this Groovy, and I'm doing this call, and I'm converting that call, that response into XML, and I'm storing that in the header.
Okay.
So for main API call, I need to send some request body. Here the connection detail is different. So that is put method, right? I'm converting that method into put, and once I post the data, I'm getting some response in the next step. That is my actual response. So I need to work on that particular response, like from that response to SAP accepted format. So I'm getting the Swift connector response data at the end. So once I get the data, the Swift connector is accepting only JSON and return only JSON, but the SAP only accept the XML data. So I want to convert that JSON into XML, and I'm posting that data to the SAP. So this is my scenario. I mean, one of the scenario. I have many scenario in this Swift connector to SAP. So the scenarios, the datas, everything the client will mention, or in my scenario, I have the SAP team, the SAP PM, as I mentioned earlier, right? Plant maintenance, the plant maintenance functional guy is there. He will tell me what I need to do, how many flows I have, So because he maintains the system, right, so he knows where the data and how we can get the data, how we what are all the data they want to post in the particular place. So those details he knows. He will give me the details and the guidance. Accordingly, I'll create the flow in the CPA. So this is one of the scenario I have worked in real time. So first, before working on the project, you need to get the prerequisites. After that, you need to do the connectivity test. After that, you need to work on the flows.
Um, Hari,
Yes.
what are all the actions we take if we get okay or unauthorized or not found when we get this
So
uh,
yeah, whenever we are facing issues, first we'll try to resolve. Like if you get 401 or 400, that means definitely the issue is in the authentications. So on the time you need to ask the client to check with the credentials. So if you get any 500 or internal error, then only the call fails within the CPA.
okay, if else API is not working, then we get 500.
Yes.
And with the credentials part, we'll get not found or this thing
401, 400 unauthorized error.
404. Yes,
Yes.
unauthorized. 400 and 401 is issue with credentials, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Until
Okay,
you
Hari,
make the connection.
this is Akash.
Yes.
So, we are just following your recordings.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, Sabash.
Yeah, okay. Just following your recordings. So, the time of Chandru's session, Chandru has shared API links like REST APIs, SOAP APIs, and all. So, how we can identify as these are the this API is particular API like SOAP API and REST API. How we can recognize?
Sorry. Come again, please.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chandra has shared three API links like SOAP API and the REST API links.
Okay.
So, how we can recognize it will be SOAP API or REST
Whether
API?
it
How
is
we
SOAP
can,
or REST.
yeah,
Yeah, they will mention whether it is a SOAP or REST.
client will.
Yes. So see, in the scenario you can understand. In my scenario, I'm getting the JSON data. That means that is a third party API. The API is the HTTP call because the request body is anything. So I'm getting the JSON. That means that is a HTTP. That is a web service call only, but it is not a SOAP because the SOAP is have some standard request body. But when it comes to REST, it does not have any standard structure. So it can accept any format. That's why I'm getting the JSON request body from the client. So that is a REST API. If you the SOAP API, the SOAP API mostly who are already working on the bank related or any secured system, they will use the SOAP APIs. Otherwise, everyone will. The, that means not the REST API is secured only, but the more secured web service is SOAP. So the mostly the bank, if you work on the bank integration, they will use the SOAP APIs only. I mean, they prefer SOAP API. So you can understand once you get the data. The SOAP API will have like share my screen. So this is the SOAP UA like Postman. This is a tool. So actually, I have worked on one bank. The bank giving me the Bizdels. Some see, I have the account detail. For example, account inquiry. This is the SOAP SOAP API. So here you can see my SOAP API is having. See, my SOAP API having SOAP envelope. Inside SOAP envelope, I having the SOAP header. Inside, I have the body. So if you work on the rest, you will maintain the headers details separately. But whenever you are working on the REST API, you need to mention all the header inside the header tag. So in my case, the header is self-closed tag. That means there is no header in my call. If you have any header, you need to maintain those header in the header tag. So inside the body tag, I'm having the data. So this is the SOAP SOAP structure. You have the SOAP envelope. Inside you have the header and body. So I mean this is the sample structure. You may get uh, different structure in real time cases. The SOAP API call, you should maintain this envelope. Inside envelope you will have the data. This is the structure of the SOAP call. So if you are working on the REST call, so here in my case, this is also the HTTP call only, but the request body is different, like JSON, CSV, anything I can have.
Okay, okay, Hari. Then so I started my practicing and coming to instant and subscription, the
Hmm.
integration should part was gone and I was unable to try it. Could you please help me with that? Can I share my screen?
Yes,
Hariprasad, Hari, can you hear me?
yes,
I'm not I'm not able to
Other,
share my screen. Post
other,
disable
oth-
internet.
yes, Chandra.
other than SOAP API and REST API, any other APIs are used, or else these two are
We have
the
more the O data.
okay.
O
Uh,
data. Yes, I mean you don't get these are different. All are same, but the call
okay,
is different. That's it.
okay,
Everything is a HTTP web service only.
okay.
Akash, you can share your screen now.
Can you please give me host access?
Sorry,
Can you please give me a host access?
I have given you the
Host
access.
host disable attendance. Screen share. showing like
You are the host now.
but still it's showing host disabled.
Sorry.
But it's still showing a host disabled screen sharing access.
Mm,
Are you visible to see two names, Akash and Akash Bablas? I joined with my mobile and PC, so
actually, you are the only person host. End the meeting from your mobile and try it.
okay.
Now make me a host, Prasad.
Sujit, you are a host now.
Yeah.
Please make the Akash host.
Okay. Yeah. Change.
Hello.
Yeah, Akash, you are the host.
Hari, now make me a host.
You are
Akash,
a host now.
you are the host now.
Okay.
You are in mute, Akash.
Yes. Please unmute. Go to the, that means your integration subscription got expired. So create one new integration. Here you have the unmute option, right? Click on the three dots above. You are sharing the screen, right? In the green color above. Your screen sharing wording is there, right? The three dots, yes. So click on more. If you place the cursor in the your screen sharing, you get the three dots at last. Here, go to settings, audio. Click on a test mic drop down. Default microphone above. Yes. Second. I mean the in the microphone section. Click on yes. Now try to unmute.
Okay, Rinosh, that's I want to show you that what I and yeah, and coming to the next question, please. So when we are using, message mapping, the source structure and the target structure will be there, right? And once we are uploaded access the data, it will we are moving to the occurrence of 1:1 or 0:1. What is we are
Mm.
just confused about 1:1 or 0:1. What about that exactly?
0:1
When we
is
are
nothing
understand,
but yes.
yeah.
0:1 is nothing but if suppose if you have one field in the source data, that field may have value or may not have a value. So on that case, you need to use the uh, 0:1. So give me the host access. I need to share my screen.